Thank you.
So about myself, I'm not really good at talking about myself, but a few things that my domain, like my core area of expertise is into wellness, nutrition, and fitness science. So that's what all I've been doing throughout my life. I worked for some time in US in the fitness industry. I was working with different YMCAs in North Carolina. I worked, and then in Illinois also I worked with YMCA. Uh, I was running my own yoga studio also there in USA, and I was also taking yoga classes in the local gyms, which were, I mean, I won't boast about it, but which were like really good because I was teaching pure Indian yoga. I wasn't doing, you know, any power yoga and stuff like that. And on top of that, it was really popular among the women when we came to the cool down sessions and when we were doing yoga nidra and all that, you know, when we were meditating and relaxation. And that's what I realized, that more than the physical exercise, they needed to relax more. All right, so when I moved to India, by God's grace, I started working with a few elite organizations which were involved into fitness and sports training. So then I took it up from there, and now my main area of expertise here in India is the sports. I work with national and international sports people, men, women, and, you know, all different ages. But wellness and fitness is something I practice passionately. So not only myself. So when I was in US, I used to love Zumba, and I used to attend Zumba classes. It was a new thing there. I thought, like, why don't I get certified? You know, because if I teach Zumba, I have to go to gym, right? So to teach people, it's like when I know there are people waiting for me in the class, then I will go, because sometimes it happens. Okay, you know, because my son was quite young at that time. So that's like I try to find way here and there about you know, fitting wellness in my schedule. So, and nutrition goes hand in hand with that. I am from school of thought that I don't push too many fad diets. Like I can take a whole session on fad diet itself, you know, what works, what doesn't work. I don't push too many supplements. I believe in natural diet. I don't tell people you should. Of course, we women at times we need to take our calcium and stuff like that, but I don't push in otherwise too many supplements. To if you're working out, you need to do this and that. Very few things we actually need to work on is fitted in our lifestyle. So even if I have a client who would come to me for not only for nutrition, for, you know, other lifestyle management, I just try to look into their lifestyle and try to fit it in that. Now I'm also a certified life coach. I don't practice that as my main area, but I do take at least, you know, 2 or 3 clients in a year, because life coaching is a long process. It doesn't happen in a month or two. So they need a follow up, and they need to meet, they need, you know, the counseling for say 6 months. And so I take only few clients who really need it. So life coaching is something because I want to help people, you know, and so that's why I did the certification also in that. I hold a postgraduate diploma in yoga, and which taught me yoga, and that's a proper university diploma in India I did. That taught me, and I did only again out of curiosity. I was like, what's the all hype about yoga, let me just see. And out of that, and I can't tell you how, you know, what a change it had made in my life. uh, Not only physically but mentally also. It's really really good. That is yoga. So I learned yoga therapies, I learned psychology of yoga because I had to pass my exams. And I learned all sort of kriyas. You know, you put a rubber tube in your nose, you take it out of your mouth, and it sounds yuck, but I've done all that, I've learned all that. Having said that, so I like to combine everything. Along with that, my experience as a woman, growing up, I'm in mid 40s, so I can relate to, you know, a younger generation as well, and those who are growing old. So I try to find a big combination of all these things to support women. I mean, anything for women, I'll be up for it. You know, anywhere I see I can support women, I'm up for it. And my family people is like, you know, you should be the flag bearer of some women's societies, because you're always so. But that's because I want, and especially for Indian women, because of our societal norms are different. We grew up in a different environment. So I have faced that when I moved to US. how we adjusted there. Then I decided to move back to India. So then there were different challenges, but then I took those challenges. I'm happy that I don't regret my decisions
What do you
ever.
say?
So when in US, I enjoyed the life, I did whatever I could there, and when I came back to India, so that's
Apa ni?
all about me. So you can ask me questions related to your wellness, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and I would try my best to answer those questions. To start with, since I wanted to know the group well, I didn't put in too many technical things. I'm just going to show you pictures. All
No.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Is it visible to you?
Yes.
Okay. So it's just simply about wellness. I would talk also about health, because many times it happens, and especially with women, it's like you need to lose weight. I tell you, so many times, only thing I hear is I need to lose weight. And there had been time where I had to send my clients back. Like, people came to me and I told, you, why do you need to lose weight? you know just because they wanted to look certain way and they did not like the way they looked, or people made them feel. So I kind of try to make them feel good about themselves, and then I convince that you don't need to lose weight, because weight is not a measure of your wellness or your health. So for that matter, whenever I talk to a group of females, I show them this picture. So here's the women we all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are more to the list. Not only Priyanka Chopra, we have Kareena Kapoor, who flaunted zero, size zero, and all that. But that's their bread and butter. They have to be like that to earn, and that's the only thing they do, right? Whereas we women, we lead a life. We have to look after our work. We have to look after our home. We have to look after kids, and blah blah blah. If we have a joint family, so many things. So then I put this picture. So here's the women who I find healthy.
Yeah.
you know so if you compare it with the previous picture of Priyanka Chopra and this, so it's not about Priyanka Chopra or Hema Malini. It's about uh, the
Body.
healthy women.
Hmm.
And I don't find anything wrong with her. I find her so graceful. uh, this Miss Hema Malini. So this is the when I talk about health and all, this is what I really mean, that we need to look into certain figures if we want to follow some. We don't need to have the wrong notion about health and how we look, but overall, 360 health is really important.
Yeah.
So when we talk about physical wellness, there are these three important factors: exercise, nutrition, third is rest. And women usually tend to ignore the last one, rest. And that affects a lot. If you're working out too much, you're not getting enough recovery, you're not going to achieve your health goals, a period. So that's why it is important. Exercise is important, but it doesn't mean that you go to gym for 2.5 hours and just keep lifting weight, because we can't fit that in our life. I don't know how it is with you guys. Are you still working from home, or but then even if you are taking care of kids at home, you can't find that kind of time, that 2 hours every day you go to gym. So that's why exercise can be either way. You can do body weight exercises at home. You can take out 30 minutes time, here and there, just to exercise. And I'm so happy you are all are already doing that. So I'm so happy to connect with you. Then second is nutrition, and that is again very customized, person to person, it's different. So these days, what I started a few years back, what I started, I never give a diet plan to a person. I tell them, you connect with me for certain, few months. You decide 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, and then I educate you so that you don't need me later on, because then my job is done right. If I keep spoon feeding you with one diet plan after another, then it's not right on my part. I want to empower you so you can understand nutrition, you can understand your body.
Hmm.
Because I can have so many generic diet plan that I can sell, but then I'm not doing my job right. The person keeps coming back to me, and that way I'm not able to take my next client. I won't be able to help more people. So in nutrition, what I tell them, it's my job to educate whoever comes to me. And I tell them that after a few months, I don't want you to come back to me. You have to be, wise enough to know how your body reacts to certain food, how your body deals with certain food. So you would see people having large servings and not gaining weight,
Mm.
versus few people who are eating very little but they keep gaining weight. So once you know your body, how it works, so like my body I know really well. I can gain weight very quickly, but then I know what I need to do, where I need to adjust to come back to the weight that I would want to be in. So weight is never of course a measure for that, but health is something we need to achieve with good nutrition. But especially in the female community, I see rest is something they miss out on. Because if it's a man going to gym or working out, going to work and all that, they rest well, better, because they don't have 10,000 things running through their mind. But it's difficult for us as women. It was difficult for me also. But now I started giving a priority to my rest. If I need rest, if I don't sleep well in the night, I'll make sure I lie down for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, to make sure my body is getting certain rest. Because otherwise that's going to lead to certain health issues. And I see at young age also many women are coming up with so many health issues, along with so this is the picture. Our days are overbooked already. So this picture speaks for itself, so I wouldn't talk much about it. So this is something we need to analyze ourselves. Of course, when I do life coaching, I help people to detangle. There are so many things just tangle up, so I help them to detangle. I help them to move forward. We never dig into the past. How did you reach here? People come, that happened with me. I said, whatever it is, we are here now, we'll move forward from here. But that's a different story. So how do we have to pause for wellness, because our days are overbooked?
Mm.
So in that term, then we all can stay healthy without sacrificing our family and work time. We can eat well. We all can eat well. That's easy. We can exercise whenever and wherever we can, whatever exercise we can fit in, because that is very important. So then we confused. So to make it simple, again, as I told you, I'm going to show you so many pictures. So can we do this? No. If we are at work, we cannot do this. That is physical exercise. You're trying to maintain posture, sitting on the exercise ball and all that. But what we can do, a small thing, if you're sitting on a chair for a long time, you can twist, you can straighten your back, and then you can stay work on your posture and make your muscles work a bit here there. We can stretch sitting on the chair, which we generally forget, and we can stretch our shoulders and all that. So your body needs that movement. What happens if we are sitting for long time? Your body starts overworking, depending on the work you are in. So if you are, say, into a sitting job, not even job, even if you are at home, can you hear me? Am
Yes.
I audible? Okay. So even if we are at home, there are so many work that we need to be standing for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Or we need to be sitting for certain work. So in that case also we can always fit in, but these things are customized, according to the lifestyle. But these are just small reminders that whatever wherever we are, there are always ways. So if you can't spend 45 minutes for your workout, you can spend 5 minutes with break, so your muscles get stretched, your brain gets aligned with your body, because that's really really important. So goals are very simple: moving our bodies as much as possible, getting some physical exercise wherever and wherever you can. It can be as simple as just going up the stairs, right?
Mm.
So I tell you, I travel a lot, because my work takes me to different states in India. And many a time it happens when we are at the airport, I'm the only woman going up on the stairs. If I have to go to another level at the airport, I see all the men and women, they are using the automated escalators, right? I'm the only woman. If you know a Delhi airport, they're like, you have to walk a lot.
Mm.
So they have those travelators, and I'm the only one walking. Many times it happens, but then it's okay, because I just count, maybe I'm burning just 10 more calories, but I'm burning some calories. So this is something, So I have kind of a calculator because having worked in this field for almost more than 22 years now, so I have that calculator in me. So I keep calculating, okay, today I'm going to go for a party, so I need to work out now. So little more of, so that those are the things. Here is a simple things that calories you can burn in 15 minutes of exercise. So say just take a case of jogging. That is where in 15 minutes you're working lots of calories. Jogging will help you burn fat, whereas lifting weight will not help you burn fat. All right. Now, bike riding, the problem is 15 minutes you take out to work out, say 30 minutes you take out, but the time you eat one gulab jamun, you're gaining double the calories. So
Yeah.
that's where we need to balance. So bike ride, see, only 23 calories in 50. It's a leisure bike ride I'm talking about. So only 23 calories, and you have a cup of tea, half cup of tea, you're getting those calories. So that's why if you can figure out how to balance this all, it's gonna work really, really good. Can we take out 20 to 30 minutes out of those 480 minutes that we get throughout the day? That's not simple, that's like, not a big thing, but we don't think in minutes. So if I calculate for 480 minutes I have in the day and 20 to 30 minutes, yeah, it's so easy, hum kar sakte wo. But
Ah,
we think in that ways. So it can actually recharge your mind, your spirit, your body, everything. All right. And I tell everybody, smile is contagious. It's not only for others, smile for yourself. So it's about me, that even when I'm sad, nobody can ever come to know, because I'm always smiling. And at times it's like, people would think that how come you're, I say, because I prefer to smile, I choose to smile. And that also gives a workout to your facial muscles. When you smile, lots of muscles are involved in that. So those give the workout to your facial muscles as well. For nutrition part, take time out to think about nutrition goals. Again, as I said, it's simple, it's different for everyone. What is your goal? Do you have to fight a disease? Do you have to feel more healthy? If you feel that because of your weight you're not able to perform certain tasks, then only think of losing weight. But if you fit into right BMI, then also it is good, you don't need to lose weight. So please think about your nutrition goal, what you want to do. Just now, not because in certain places that people are they look certain way and all that, or somebody, my husband told me that you have gained weight, or my child told me you are not looking good and all that. Don't take it to heart. Just to write down your own goals. The aim should be to eat healthy food. That should be your aim, and no harm in that. A secret I can share with you is I love sweets. Being into nutrition and fitness and all that, I love sweets. And that's like I got sweet tooth. So I do eat sweets. But then I make sure that I compensate that at my other meal. And it's not like I don't go overboard. Like if I'm eating a chocolate, I'll take only 2 squares. I wouldn't finish the whole bar in one go. So that is important to know. Read labels if you're not already doing it, and you can search for it. Lots of things, lots of information available out there, how labels are going to fool us. A simple example I'll give you. You all know Mary biscuits.
mm,
Hmm?
yeah.
So Mary biscuits, simple Mary light. Then there is another biscuit called Nutri Choice. Okay, we generally go and we pick Nutri Choice because it says it's nutritious and it has more fibers and all that. You take label and read, one Nutri Choice biscuit has many more calories than a Marie biscuit. Marie biscuit is not getting you fibers and all that, but when it comes to overall calories, taking 3 or 4 of those Nutri Choice cookies is actually bringing in more calories. So that's where the marketing gimmicks, they confuse us. So one very simple thing, if something says low fat, please think there will be something else to enhance the taste. All right. Now it can be more sugar, it can be more additives, whatever. If it is low fat, doesn't mean it's very healthy. If something says low sugar or sugar free, there will be something to enhance the taste. Okay, there may be more fat, and usually that happens. Low sugar or zero sugar and all that, they usually have higher fat. So please read labels, compare the labels, and then only purchase. Whatever, if you're purchasing packaged food, then only purchase it, because that is really important. There are many brands which say no sugar added, but that means no white sugar added. There are so many varieties of other sugars that they can add. All right. So many fruit juices, they add different kind of sugar. So that way, please start reading label. That will help you to be more healthy, because you will know the difference. Then nutrition planning is very important, and planning starts right from the time you make a grocery list. If you're going on a Saturday and Sunday to buy your groceries, the planning starts from there. And do not fall for fad diets. They give you very good weight loss and all that, but they are called fad for a reason. And I have done lots of readings, lots of workshops and all that to know about fad diets. And I can tell you, maybe some other time if we connect, fad diet is like, just don't fall for it. There are better ways to be healthy. Fad diets are not good for you. Choose this. This is the plate there. I'm sure you must have seen this, my plate. So this is we divide our plate in 4 sections, where grains and vegetables take the largest part, and then fruits and protein, and dairy is on the side. So this is how we kind of portion our plate. This is just a simple way to put a plate in the portion. Nutrition planning. This is, you can actually go through this. 3 servings of low fat or fat free dairy products, because for us women, calcium is really important. And as I said, if you can take natural food, there is no need to take your calcium tablet. All right, now this 3 servings can be a bowl of curd, it can be a whole glass of buttermilk, and it can be a mug of milk. So that makes you 3 servings of dairy product. Low fat, of course, it has to be. Whole grain product, at least 3 servings. Whole grain, it can, so our chapatis, if you're taking multigrain and whole grain, that falls into that category. But that does not mean that you don't take more of carbs, more of other grains. But whole grains, at least 3 servings in your diet should be there every day. Then 150 to 200 grams of protein containing food. It can be vegetarian protein, non-vegetarian protein, whichever way you like it. One thing the vegetarian people need to know, when we talk about paneer, paneer is good, it contains good amount of protein, but it also contains equal amount of fat. So paneer is one hidden cause of us gaining fat. Now when I say, I'm not talking about body weight, I'm talking about fat. So paneer brings in lots of fat in our diet, which we generally don't, because it doesn't show the, so there is an invisible fat. You can't see the fat in paneer. So that is one thing we need to be careful about. Switch to tofu if you can. Then 2 servings of fruit must every single day. 3 servings of vegetables, and stay hydrated. That's where we, most of us falter, and believe me, you take care of your hydration and you start feeling good. You start feeling refreshed. So there are lots of things water can take care of, and hydration is a topic very close to my heart. You wake me up middle of the night and I can give a 2 hours lecture only on hydration. All right. How it affects your body, what are the consequences if you're not hydrated well, and what are the ways you can hydrate. So that is something we forget to drink water.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So
the issue a lot.
only, and if we we are uh, coffee drinker or tea drinker, that further diuretes us. So then we need even more water. So for that matter, it's like there is something, you carry a bottle with you all the time. So I made a habit. I take small, even if it's 250 milliliter water, I put it in my purse and I carry it every time. So mostly my handbag will have one or the other water bottle. So if you have it with you, you'll drink. If you don't have it with you, it's like out of sight, out of mind. So hydration is really, really important. Nutrition for bone health is, we women need to work a lot on. So we need to consume enough calcium and vitamin D every day. Sunlight for about 15 minutes a day, morning and evening. So 15 minutes twice a day. But still, lately I'm seeing even that is not enough. Many people are, their lab reports are showing that they are still deficient on vitamin D. So that's why this is one supplement you may need to take in order to maintain your bone health. But of course, first get your blood test done. Participate in regular weight bearing activities, especially if you're above 40. You don't have to like lift heavy weights. It can be body weight exercises. You can look online for, there are at least 50 different body weight exercises that we women can do at home. avoid excess soft drinks. There are, I mean, of course, you would all know, so I wouldn't lecture you on that. And avoid excess alcohol and smoking. I'm pretty sure nobody would be too much into it, but yeah, excess should be avoided. So this was all from my side. I'll stop sharing my screen, and now you can ask me questions on anything that I told you to begin with.
So I have a question about dairy.
Yeah.
Of late, dairy is getting negative vibes, right? They said stop drink. Many fad diets, they say no milk and this and that. But I drink a lot of milk. So
Mhm.
why is dairy not good?
It is, see, it's a big conspiracy against milk.
Hmm.
It's not good only for people who have lactose intolerance. And fortunately, Indians don't have that very common. You know, Caucasian population has lactose intolerance very common in them, but Indian population usually does not has lactose intolerance. I have seen cases where perfectly healthy people whose body could digest milk and all that, they were taught in a way, you know, by different physicians or whosoever they approach. They said, okay, it may be because of lactose, and they gave up lactose, you know, they gave up all the dairy. So dairy is not bad. But then there is another market for rice milk, for almond milk, for soya milk and all that. So they had to somehow come up with many ideas that, you know, how do we replace, because people would not replace regular milk just like that. So it's a there is a big market, there are big different policies, marketing and all that going on. But dairy is not bad as long as you are sticking to low fat milk, as long as you're not replacing your meal with milk.
Hmm.
All right. So if you're taking regular dairy, it's perfectly all right, because people then they come up with, it's not something made for us, it's an animal you know, product and all that. But then it is excellent. Milk is a complete meal in itself. Milk gives you uh, calcium and other minerals. Of course, it gives you lots of vitamins. It also gives you carbohydrate and protein. Then I never ask anybody, unless they are lactose intolerant, I'd never ask anybody to give up their dairy. So please, if you are drinking it, feel good about it. Don't go overboard. As long as you're consuming your fruits and vegetables and everything else on time, please be happy with milk.
Okay. Yeah. So any the floor is open for question and answers if anyone has any question. No? Okay, I have another one. Then I'll ask you another one.
Yeah, and everyone else is on mute, so maybe if they want to ask, they won't be able to. So yeah, please go ahead, ask another one.
Yeah. Please unmute yourself if you have any question. Yeah, my question is like you are emphasizing on rest, and that
Mhm.
is the one of the area that we as women ignore. And I have heard, like, many people say we don't have time to rest. So how can they include that rest in their daily schedule if they are busy with work and home and exercise and all?
So one thing I tell them that try to get your night sleep in order. All right. If in one stretch you can get about 7 hours of sleep, and you know, sleep also it differs for many people. So few people are fresh after even 6.5 hours of sleep, right? But then as we age also, throughout the day our body cannot take that kind. So by the evening our energies start to drain. You know, we feel like totally worn off, and you know, we are not able to focus so much. So in that case, I tell them just take 20 minutes out. If you can't take, just take 15 minutes out, wherever you can fit in. Sit with your legs up on the chair, or you know, if you're sitting on a couch, just keep your legs up, or just try to lie down. Basically, you need to rest. Means if you're really busy, then in that case rest would mean align your brain and body. So if you get to close your eyes, sit quiet for 15-20 minutes also, that will be resting for your body. All right. So of course, if you cannot lie down for to have a good nap and all that, then just try to rest your brain. So rest is basically related to brain. So your brain needs to connect with your body to rest. So if you can close your eyes, you can listen to music. And I tell people, don't even bother about music. Just close your eyes. Try to not think about the stressful things. If you have lots of stress at work, or you know, if you have to move places and all that, try not to think in those 15 minutes. Try not to think about any stressful situation. So for that matter, it's only about your brain resting. It's not, physical rest you need, because your brain, of course, regulates everything. Your brain tells you you're getting tired. So if your brain is rejuvenated, if your brain gets that break, and then you get back to your work or whatever chores you are doing at home, that
Yeah.
you will feel the difference. So if you can't take time out, say 30-40 minutes in one stretch, try 10 minutes here and there,
Hmm.
just to be away from your whatever is you are carrying on. Just be away from that and relax.
Okay. So it's the mental relaxation that's like
Exactly. Because see, Chitra, as women, we don't get that,
Hmm.
because we are wired like that. We are multitaskers. We can be working and we can be thinking about our child's homework, right? Or if our child has any other engagement, or we can be thinking, oh, the grocery, I forgot to purchase this and that, or I need to pay that bill.
Hmm.
So that way, we women are multitaskers, and we are wired that way. We can't help it.
Yeah.
That's why our brain needs more relaxation in order to function fine, as compared, nothing against men, but as compared to that, we need to work more on mental relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Poonam, you have a question?
Yeah, hi Aradhana. Thanks
Hi.
for coming on. I joined a little late.
A
So,
pleasure to be here.
one question that what is the first thing to eat in the morning? Like we drink coffee. I drink coffee straight and nothing else for like an hour. So, what is the good start of
ideal answer Ideal answer will be a fruit.
a fruit?
But then for you that will not be practical, because you're a coffee drinker, right? So if I tell you fruit, you will listen to it and you will not eat it. I know that. Because it's like it's a big change for you. So in that case, my first suggestion will be, you can make gradual move. Don't take coffee alone. Just take a small cracker with it. Okay. Don't let the coffee reach your stomach only as coffee or tea. Whoever drinks tea, just take small one or two crackers with it. So if something solid goes in your stomach, your body will start. We need to kick start our body in the morning. And coffee, of course, it alerts your brain. It works for your nervous system, but it doesn't work for your physical health. All right. So that's why if you give your body something solid to kick start that metabolism and all that, that will work better. But the ideal answer is a fruit. You should start your day with.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll try. I
you
give
want a
fruit to my kids, but I don't eat myself. So,
That's what we are talking here. We women don't take care of ourselves because we are worried about the whole world, right? So that's what we need to do. So if you wake up and if you can tolerate, say, just few blackcurrants or few raisins or dates or dry figs, that's okay.
okay.
Because that's a dry fruit, but it won't be as heavy as a regular fruit. So just start with that if you can. And now you told me if you're giving it to your kids, you can have it yourself.
Yeah. You know what? I have started soaking almonds, and with my morning tea, I eat those almonds because that's why somebody told me do not drink tea first thing in the morning.
Yes, exactly. So you all should follow that, start following that. Along with your tea, take something to eat.
Okay, and I think Padmani.
Archana. This has been very informative so far. So thank you for that. I have
You're
a
welcome.
question related to the pre-menopause. That's the
Mhm.
phase that I'm going through right now. So there's anything specific diet or regime that one needs to follow because it's a big transition. Overall, I've been a pretty healthy person, but just is, I think there are hot flashes. I don't know. I don't really sweat a lot, but it's a lot of kind of burning and itching kind of. I think that's what happens in my body, which I realize is something new. So, what do you recommend in terms of following anything differently now that the body is going to a different phase of life?
Yes, so for that, first thing you need to is take care of your hydration a lot, as your hormones change. And anyways, for us, the hormone change, throughout the month, it goes up and down. So that is one important thing. Second thing is what we call it as nutrient dense food. So one of that is, now since during premenopause, perimenopause, all those stages, we need to take care of our bones, the first thing. So if you're taking dairy, make sure you, only thing is you need to switch to low fat, because your body's capacity to deal the fat reduces when you're around that menopausal age. So that is something we need to worry about, that we need to reduce fat content to a large extent. But do not stop taking fat. So in case you're taking dry fruits, especially walnuts and almonds, those are the best source of fats that you can have, and you should have that every day. Another thing you need to look into is your fresh food consumption, because in general, when I talk to a large group of, so in general where everybody doesn't understand the science, I tell them jitna fresh khaoge utna fresh feel hoga, and that is actually scientific thing also. You eat more fruits, you eat more salads, your body will feel more fresh, because your body doesn't has to work too much to digest that. It brings less calories, your body doesn't has to work too much on that. Plus at this age, your body's capacity to handle some nutrients also goes down, so you need to make sure every meal has good nutrition in it. So another thing I would say, if you are sticking to a 3 meal plan, break that down to make it a 5 meal plan. So your 3 major meals, say your breakfast, lunch and dinner, and in between you can have 2 snacks here and there. One snack can be simple, a cup of milk and a fruit, or you can make a milkshake out of it, or it can be just some dry fruits and nuts, a mix of it. Just don't take those fried nuts and all that, just regular nuts and dry fruit. So that way your body will be regularizing that energy. So these are something you need to work on. And another thing I'll tell you, if you're not already doing it, please start yoga, because that works wonder. I have many clients who have benefited with yoga a lot. And when I say yoga, it's not physical poses, but also your meditation. That helps a lot for your there is no scientific studies on that, because we don't study science and yoga and menopause and all that, but it calms down your whole body. So once your body is regularizing, from the inner side of it, your hormones also, don't start to bother you a lot.
Okay.
And the general way of tiredness, and what happens when you're around that menopausal age, your appetite also get changed. And many times I've seen women, they start drinking less water because they think water is killing their appetite, but it's not so. So please make sure that you are well hydrated, because that affects lots of systems in your body.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aradhana, I have a question.
Sure.
Recently, I have diagnosed with my heart rate goes very high actually. So they told me to go for the procedure, the SVT, if you have heard that.
Mhm.
And the diet, they have not recommended anything. They just told me to go stay hydrated, as you said, that
Yeah.
hydration is can cure many things, and less caffeine.
Yes.
Is there anything else for the fast heart rate? Have you ever heard about anything?
No,
And if
so
there's,
go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
and it's like 200, 250. Sometimes it's very high for 15-20 minutes and then just comes back. And I mean, I don't take tea a lot, sometimes like once or twice a day, but still, is there any food recommendation or anything to avoid it or eating?
Yeah, so nutrition wise, there are two things they told. Is one is increase your water intake, because water, when you're dehydrated, your heart rate goes up by itself, because then your heart has to work harder to pump blood, because it's thicker, then you don't have enough water in your body. So one, hydration is really required. Second, at times having a low salt diet helps. I'm not sure if they told you or not. A low salt diet may help at times. So for few days you may try to just don't stop eating salt, just reduce the quantity of salt, the table salt that you use. And then kind of solid fats that I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be eating anyways, the butter and ghee and stuff like that. So, and then start doing the whole grain things. If you're taking oats, don't go for quick oats.
Okay.
Switch to dalia if you can. All right, the Indian grain, switch to dalia, because that is a whole grain. Because even the quick oat, that quacker and all that we get, those are not that healthy, because those are already processed. So switch to dalia and other whole grains like that, because those are very heart healthy and they take care of heart's health. But then other than that, if any other kind of exercise and diet is not helping, that you may need to go for SVT, because just to stay sure that you're healthy and all that, because heart is something we can't manipulate much ourselves. If there is something not going correct, then it's not going correct. So many times you do need the procedure, but then you can increase your whole grain, you can increase your fruit, you can increase water, and try to reduce the salt content. Don't give up the salt because that is required, it's an important electrolyte, but then just reduce that.
Okay, sure. Does the sodium also takes anything for that? The
Yeah, so
high
that's what
intake
is
of
there in the
sodium?
salt, right? So salt is sodium chloride. So that is when I'm asking you to reduce salt. And there are some vegetables. So if you see spinach, that has lots of sodium in it. And ketchup has lots of sodium. If you eat pickle, that has lots of sodium. So those packaged food, fermented food, and salt in itself, that contains lots of sodium. So that you need to reduce.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have a question about like nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, they say roti is like makes you fat. Is it true? Like you
No.
should avoid roti.
No with a bold N and O. All right. It doesn't make you fat. It does not. Because if you remember when we were growing up, or even till, lately, people say that rice makes you fat.
Mm-hmm.
That was, so
Yeah.
now people did lots of research on rice. So now poor rice is not as bad as we thought it to be. So now they switched to roti. All right. So no, it does not make you fat. Again, the idea behind that thought is gluten. Because it contains gluten, there was a whole book out on gluten that's written by a physician, and I don't know what prompted him to write that book and spoil so many lives. Because another thing, we Indians are very fortunate that we grow up eating gluten. We lots of our food contain gluten, so we don't have gluten intolerance. So for those people, they have certain disease, gluten intolerance. But then chapati is not bad as long as it's not made out of maida. Maida is fattening in terms of, because it doesn't contain any nutrition. But then other than that, chapati is good as long as you're counting how many you're eating.
Yeah.
Please don't give up any of your Indian food. If you remember our thali system, that's the best one I have seen. I mean, I have tried diet in different countries, their staple diet and all that. Our thali system, if you remember, that used to have chapati, rice, dal, which is protein. Chapati and rice is carbohydrate. Dal is protein. We used to have curd or raita along with it. We used to have salad or some chutneys, which is the fresh thing in it, right? So it's perfect. And different part of India, you get curd in different form. In Punjab, you eat lassi, you drink lassi and all that, right? So our diet is really perfect. Only problem comes when we add lots of tadka to it, when we add extra ghee and butter and all that. That's what we need to control. Otherwise, stick to our diet.
Yeah, I have realized, like, because being here, uh, we go out and eat a lot of different cuisines, right? But when we are eating our normal ghar ka khana, the system body is working like nicely. It cleans out and everything. The system
Exactly.
is like good.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
go out and eat something else, different cuisine, it like has a toll on your stomach. I have, that's what I feel.
And you see most of the country, different cuisines, if you see, they all have very simple carbohydrate. It's either maida, those buns and breads and bagels and all that, or those noodles, pasta and all that. Of course we have multigrain pasta and all that, but that's like not really multigrain. They process it and they enrich it with something and all that. Then why not stick to a roti or paratha? That is whole grain in itself. We don't kill the nutrients and then add more nutrients to it. So it's perfect. Just stick to your rotis, please.
Yeah. Yeah. And then somebody has sent me a question about collagen.
Mm-hmm.
Like over 40, is it a fat that we should drink collagen in our tea or as a smoothie and all? Does it help? Like with knee Like if somebody is having a knee pain, a joint
If
pain.
somebody is having pain, then it's not a bad idea to add collagen.
Hmm.
But only if somebody is having pain, because their body is not producing enough, right? But if you don't have pain and stuff, then that means our body produces collagen, right? It's made in our body.
Hmm.
So if you are okay, you don't have pain and all that, please don't start something which your body doesn't need. Make sure you take enough of vitamin C, because that is responsible for collagen formation in the body, production of collagen. So that is one important thing. If your diet lacks vitamin C, then collagen production in the body can affect. Now, vitamins, having said that, generally what happens, we say that we are eating fruits and all that, like you can drink fresh lime water, but then if you squeeze lemon, you need to drink it right away. All right, you can't keep it for a long time because vitamin C gets deteriorated. And
Oh.
so that is one thing we need to take care of. If you cut an orange or an apple and you leave it, then that vitamin C gets degraded very fast, because it gets oxidized as soon as it comes in contact with air, or if you leave it at a temperature. So that's why the best way to have fresh lime water, but cut the lime, put it in, squeeze in water, add whatever you want to add, if you, and then drink it right away. Then only you're getting a good amount of vitamin C.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
We
drinking,
generally
but I
put
left
it in the bottle, and yeah.
Yeah. I will do it in like cut it and drink it, that kind of thing.
Yes, right away. That
Right.
works best.
Mhm. Poonam?
I have one more question.
Sure.
So many days I feel like you talked about the thali. If I eat like complete meal, everything, the next day I feel very bloated. Somehow my body can't take it now, the whole Indian thali that I used to eat when I was younger. So what is the reason for this bloating?
The reason for that, as we age, our metabolism goes down, right? So with that, we need to reduce the quantity. So if something that I was eating in my 20s, I cannot be eating in my 40s, because my body can't handle that. My metabolism is down. My body at that time was burning more calories even at rest. So even if I'm just sitting, lying down, or just talking, my body is capable of burning more calories, versus when now I'm in my 40s, my body isn't able to. So the best way to that is reduce the quantity and drink enough water. Again, I'm telling you, lots of your problems will go away if you make sure you're drinking enough water. There are apps to remind you about water, right? So put that on your phone, just download those apps, or alarm or whatever, or just keep bottles. See, I keep my bottle every time with me. Okay, so carry a bottle, or keep one good, attractive bottle. Like, I always choose, see, this one has flowers and all that. This is just my trick to drink more water. I keep one in my, kitchen table, I keep one in my bedroom table, and one even in my living room. So it's easy, access. So please increase your water intake, and it will make you feel that lots of the problems just go away by themselves. Water is like, at least my best friend.
But I have a related question. Somebody is asking, uh,
Mhm.
how do we know that our body is dehydrated? Are there signs? Like,
Yes, there are signs. The first and very simple. So there are two ways you can check it. One is when you go to pee fasting in the morning. Check the color of your urine. If it's darker than pale, that means you're dehydrated. But then again, it has to be fasting in the morning. As along during the day you keep drinking water, the color may change. All right. So check that for a few days, at least 3 days in a row.
okay.
If urine color is clear or very, pale, that means you're hydrated well. So then you stick to that 8 glasses a day, or, or 2 liters a day. Second criteria is if you feel that you're getting tired very fast, or that general feeling of I'm feeling low, so that can be due to dehydration. So these are two simple things. If you feel like earlier I was able to work a lot and now I feel tired very fast, whereas nothing else has changed in my body, because your body's hydration requirements also change time to time. So these are two easiest way to know whether you are dehydrated. And urine color usually works really good if you check it. Only thing is if you are on certain vitamin supplements, sometimes that change the color of your urine. So in that case, that won't be the right way to check it.
Especially B complex.
Yes, and of course, if you get headaches also, that can be due to dehydration. I get, if I don't drink enough water, I start getting headache.
Headaches. Okay.
Yes, so that is also one sign of dehydration.
But many times people avoid drinking a lot of water because they have to go to use restroom a lot.
Yes,
Is it
so if
really-
you are say if you're drinking only a liter of water now, and I tell you to increase it up to 2 liters, and now today itself, if you start drinking 2 liters, your body is not prepared to handle that kind of amount of water. So in that case, of course, your bladder won't be able to retain. So you will have to make more trips to loo. But take my words, your body adjusts to it. Just have patience. So bladder is like a stretchable balloon, right? Now today my bladder can handle only 500 ml at a time, so its capacity is that only. Now if I start giving it more water for 10-15 days, it will stretch and accommodate. But what happens if I start drinking more water, next 5 days I have to make so many trips to loo? I will be like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But then please be patient with that. Over a period of time, your body does adjust to that.
Okay. Yeah. So any question, Anita?
Yeah, I'll have to get going because I have another call
Yes.
later on. So I can take a couple of questions.
Yeah. Srisha, you're muted.
Yes, hi. So I have a question with exercise, nutrition, and thyroid. So I have thyroid. I've less than I think 6 months back I've diagnosed with thyroid. So and I exercise. I won't say I'm doing a lot of weightlifting, but I do three hits, and a couple of spinning and walking. And I have two energetic kids, so I'm around them. So my routine is usually on my toes. I'm on my toes all the time, but my weighing scale doesn't budge. Is it because of thyroid? And my food is pretty much desi khana. So I don't know where is the
Are you
problem.
on medication?
Yeah, the morning pill which I take, that's the only one.
What's the potency? Is it 25?
75 mcg I'm taking right now.
So was it really out of range so that they started you? Because I have thyroid for last 11 years.
Mhm.
Okay. I started, and I'll share my experience with you. When I got to know about thyroid, I was lean. And after that also, I did not gain weight. And this happened in US when I was in North Carolina. I went to my doctor. I said, please check because I had studied about these all diseases and all. I knew the symptoms, but weight gain was not the symptom that I had. I went to her and I said, please, can you get my thyroid checked? She said, no, you don't look like you have any. I said, no, please check it. And later on, she said, you're the first person who came that I have thyroid, and you actually have thyroid. So there can be many symptoms, and weight gain can be managed when you have thyroid also. Only thing is, what you really need to work on is stress. That triggers it. No doctor will tell you that it gets triggered because of stress, but stress is the reason. I am seeing that in more and more women, thyroid is getting and I'm not saying that it's bad stress, but even having kids around is, sorry to say, because my son is now 17. So and I know it's not easy. So it is a stress, right? Because we have no way out, we don't get our own time. So please first take care of your time, that you get time to de-stress, or you get your own time. And as a woman, I'm telling you, not as a professional. Okay. Second thing, yes, you don't really, but if you were always on the little higher weight side, then thyroid is not going to help you. That because of thyroid you will not gain more weight. Many people think that thyroid will make you gain weight, but I control mine. For 6 months I control mine without medication, only with yoga. But after that I gave up, because to do that kind of yoga you need at least 45 minutes every morning, which I was in US, so then I had to go and drop my son to his play school, and stuff like so much was going on. So I couldn't devote all those 45 minutes more than 6 months, and my thyroid was actually normal with yoga. But then I thought, no, let's start taking a pill. And I'm so happy that I started that, because that took care of so many symptoms. My dosage went little up, but it again came down. So one thing is, not only weightlifting, you combine your cardio and weight. All right. So if you're working out 30 minutes, cardio should be there for 15 minutes. It should be 50-50. Because for your metabolism to work well, and thyroid affects your metabolism, the first thing. Second thing, what you can do is frequent eating. Don't eat in one go a lot. Frequent eating. So break it down. Every 2 to 3 hours, eat something. Okay, it can be just half a fruit, it can be just a glass of buttermilk, but every 2 to 3 hours do that. And this should generally work out good for you. Okay,
Yeah, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Aradhana, for joining us and coming here this morning to talk.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me, you, Chitra and Preeti.
So much.
Thank you, Preeti. Yeah, she suggested it, right? And we would love for you to come back, because we would like to talk about life coach aspect of your profession, because
I would love to. Yeah.
yes, I have many questions relating to a couple of my friends about how to move forward.
Mhm.
We have suffered something in the past, be it relationship or be it how we couldn't
Yes.
pursue our
Yes.
dreams or anything, and how to leave them behind and move forward, because sometimes a couple of my friends, they can't.
Yes.
So we would like to talk about that.
Yeah, sure. Would love to do that. Just to share a couple of things on that. This also happens with teenagers. So I had here a teenage client, a 17 years old girl who was stuck, So life coaching is something for all age group. Then there was a man, no problem in his life, but you won't believe it's like, I felt like, what, so it was that whatever he thought was coming true
Yeah.
in a good way.
Huh.
He thought that I want this career, I want an office in this posh location, I want to earn these many crores. Everything was, and that was a stress for him. He was like, I don't get any obstacles and all that. So, and he was stuck on that thought. It was kind of, stressful for him. So I had to life coach that man, that it's so, yeah, of course, I would come back to talk about that. That will be only about 15 minutes talk that I can tell you what exactly we do, because person to person it change, and then the confidentiality and all that. But
Yeah.
definitely I would think of doing that.
Cool. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay. So bye-bye.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
having me
Thank
here.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aradhana.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So let me stop the recording.